Hello. Now we are going to talk about the views. Specifically in context of dictionary, we'll see the views. But again, the later on we'll see more about the views when we'll discuss about the sets, right? But first, let's see what the views are, right? And to understand the view, let's look at some common set operations we have, right? So here we have to consider that we have this set one, we have this second set. Again, the set is also used to create, like we also use this curly bracket to create set. So in the dictionary also we use the curly bracket, but in the dictionary we have the key and the value pair, but in the set we only have the values. Let's create it. We can do the union of the set using this pipe character. We can do the intersections. We can do the differences. To check the differences, we can say S1 minus S2, and here the S2 minus S1 will give the values, right? Now let's look at the views. We have these two dictionary over here, D1 and D2. Now we can iterate over this keys of dictionary. When you iterate this dictionary value, so when we say for key in D1, so it will iterate the dictionary key, right? Or you can also do this instead of D1. Now we can also pass this D1 dot keys. We can even iterate over the values of the dictionary by calling dot values. And you can also iterate over the key value pair by calling dot items. It will give you the tuple as a key value pair. And we can also unpack these key value pair in the for loop itself. We have already discussed these concepts, right? So again, remember that views. So again, this is the views, right? So views are iterables, not iterators. That means we can iterate it over and over again, right? And the value will not get exhausted. When we say k1 dot d1 dot keys, again we are storing that value in the keys. We can convert this to a list, and we can also, again, we are running the same code. Again, if we'll get the value, this means that this is the iterable, this is not the iterator. If this is the iterator, so we'll get the empty list, but here we are not getting the empty list, right? Now the order in which the key value item are returned during the iteration match, right? Here we can see that the order is still there. ABC is there, right? Again, this will remain until you do not change the dictionary, right? So here you can evaluate that. Here we can say that d1 dot keys equal to, we are zipping this keys and the value, and then we are converting to a list. What we want to understand over here is, we want to check that whether this order we are getting the same order over here or not. Of course, this dictionary has been called as an unordered data type, but here if you do not change the dictionary, the order will not change. Like here the value we are getting is true. Now the views are dynamic in the sense that if you change the dictionary, that value will immediately affect in the views, right? So again, view do not themselves contain the data. It is just a thin wrapper around the data source or any data source. Over here it's a wrapper around the dictionary data source. So when we say keys, here we have these keys, and here what we're trying to do is, we are trying to add a new key z, and the value is 10. When we do this, a new value will be added. Now again, if you type keys, right? So again, remember that this keys is what? Here we have assigned keys as an d1 dot keys, right? So this variable has already assigned, right? When we again call the keys, we'll see the new change, right? We do not have to reassign it because this is a view. Here is the new change we are saying. If you delete the one object and when you again check the keys, we'll see that change over here as well, right? Now here, now the interesting thing is, some of these views are exhibit set behavior. That means here let's print d1 and d2. Now we can also find all the keys that are in both d1 and d2. For that, here we want to find all the keys which is in D1, dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. What we're trying to do is, we're trying to take the union of the key. We can set that this is the keys of the dictionary 1, dictionary 2. This is the union of this both keys, and the result is the type we are getting as a set. Right? When you apply the set operation, it will become a set now. Right? Now let's say that we can also find the keys that are in both D1 and D2 by using intersections. If you do that, we have got the keys. We can also find the keys that are only in D1 but not in D2. When we do this, so for that we can take the differences D1 keys dot minus D2 keys. AB we are getting, right? The same work with the items we can also do, but again consider that item can work if if this is the item become hashable, then only it will work, right? If the keys and the values are hashable, then only it will work. Let's check that it is working because both are hashable now, right? Now let's check this dictionary D3 and D4. When we check D3 dot values, so now the values we have as a list, right? So the value we are getting as a list which is not hashable. Now the question is, can we perform this? Earlier we did it. Earlier we did with the items, right? We did with the keys, right? Now can we do this? No, because the values of the dictionaries are unhashable, and that's the reason we are not able to perform the union operation over here, right? So now again let's check this two dictionary we have. Now let's try to do with the items. So can we perform this? We cannot, because in the item, that means in the tuple, right? So when you do the item, it will give you the tuple, and the tuple one's element would be this list which is not hashable, and that's the reason we cannot do this operation, right? But that's not always the case. Let's look at the D1 and D2. When we do this and when we do D1 dot item and D2 dot item, that is possible only when all the data are hashable. Now let's understand few examples, right? So here, let's say that we have two dictionary and we want to create a new dictionary that contain all the item whose keys are in the both dictionaries, right? So we want to create a dictionary which contain the item of both dictionary, right? So how to do that? Right? We want the value in a dictionary to be a tuple containing all the value for both dictionary. So we want to also combine the values as a tuple. How to do that? Let's see that we have the two dictionary. We can check the key, and here we are trying to do the intersection over here. That means that we want to combine the keys which are present in both the dictionaries, right? So here we want to create a new dictionary that contains all the item whose keys are in both dictionaries. So so this is a clear sign that we want to take the intersection over here. Let's do this. So we have this key B and the C, right? Now we can simply achieve the same task with the loop. Here we are. So here we are taking the intersection of both keys, we are taking the loop, and now in the new dictionary we are adding the values of both dictionary as a tuple. So we wanted to achieve this, right? And this is the one approach. But again, the dictionary comprehension approach can be better with this. So what we have to do is we just have to write this for loop, and then again we are adding this key and the value. So we'll add this key and the value in the same fashion, and this is the more clearer approach. Now let's take this and generate a new dictionary, and again containing just the common key, but whose value is either the common value, or if underlying dictionary have the different value of the same key, choose the value from the second dictionary. So basically we want to choose the value from the second dictionary. So the approach is what we want to do. So the approach is going to be identical from this earlier examples. Now let's just see that which value we want to use for both cases, right? Same value or the different value. So if we choose the same value, so we have to pick the value from D1 or D2, right? Since the values are same in, and it does not matter. If we choose the different value, then we have to pick from the D2. So in case if we choose the value from the D2, then it will work, right? So here we have this dictionary. Again, we are taking the loop of this common key, and then the keys for the key, the value we are taking is from the second dictionary. This is the second approach. Now, in the example 3, right? Suppose we have the two dictionary and we want to identify the items whose keys are not common in both dictionary. So we want to be we want to get the uncommon dictionary. So again, consider that here we have this two dictionary. Now, as you can see that we want to get D as a 4 and E as a 5, right? We want to achieve this dictionary. We want to create a dictionary which looks like this. So let's consider how would you identify the non-common keys, right? We can start with the union, right? So union will give you the combination of all key. This is the union of the keys. And now when you do the intersection, this will give you the common keys, and this is like all key. Now what you have to do is you just have to take the differences of these two, and then you'll get the uncommon key like this. Here you can take the union minus intersection, and this will give you the uncommon keys. Now we have the key, right? So now we want to get the item for this key. So here the D is available in the D1, maybe in the like, yes. So here this D is available in the D1 and E is available in the D2. So we can use this get method when we see D1 dot get E, right? We are just trying to check whether this E is present or not. It is not, so it will give you none. We can also check this D2 dot get E. This will give you some value, right? So what we want is we can combine this D1 dot get or D2 dot get things, right? So here with this we are combining with the OR operator. So if the value will go, like if the value will exist, right? So we'll get the value. Here we are getting 4 and here we're getting 5. So now we just need to tie this up. So here we have this two dictionary. We have created the union and the intersection and the keys with the differences of union and the intersections we have got. Now we have this empty dictionary. We are taking the loop of the keys. And now what we're doing is, so now with the d1 dot keys, like here we are just trying to get like d1 dot get keys or d2 dot get keys. We are using the OR operator. Here we are using the OR operator, right? And now whatever the, so now this OR operator will give you the value, right? So either it will give you the value from d1 or either it will give you the value from d2, and then the value will be set as a result dictionary, and now we are printing the result, right? We can even do this in a dict comprehension. We can do this. So here we're saying for key in keys, and now the key is equal to this, the entire expression we are passing, and that's it, right? This is the value we are getting, and that's it with the dictionary views, right? Thank you very much.